So the crafter is built with 5 iron, a crafting table, 2 redstone, and a dropper, and it basically looks like a crafting table. They're pretty similar, just without the book. And inside the crafter you have the ability to disable slots, making it a lot easier to craft things like bows or things that really don't require a whole crafter or a whole crafting table to craft. So for example, we can create a crafting table and it is activated with a redstone signal. Something interesting about the crafter is that it actually fills in a interesting way. It usually, when you're putting items into a container, it just fills up one slot, but this one actually evenly distributes everything. So it goes through the first row, then the second row, then the third. And as you can see, we're going to see it right now. So see how it fills every single item, like every single inventory slot first, and then it goes again and goes through the rest of them. And one thing that's notable is that it has a weird ability. So let's say I put like 16 in this one, it's actually going to skip over that one and it's just going to continue to fill up the rest of them, but it's not going to fill up the one that has the most until, you know, we'll reach 10. So right there we just reached 10, and then now it's going to actually start filling it again. Another thing about the crafter is that it also accepts items from any direction, from the side, from behind, from the sides, doesn't really matter where. And it even goes faster if you're putting in items. So for example, I have different colors here. We have red, yellow, and orange, and they're all going to enter the crafter at the same time. And it's really interesting how it fills. It fills up like in synchronization. It's very organized. Basically, the main slowdown of a crafter is actually going to be the hopper speed of a crafter. So if you want to learn to craft things really quickly, I think hoppers aren't going to be the way in the future. It's going to be mostly dispensers and droppers to feed crafters. So like I said before at the beginning of this video, the crafter actually shoots out an item every time you activate it with redstone, and when you activate it with redstone, it will actually shoot that item into an inventory slot. But since this is a dropper and we hard power the crafter, that soft powers the dropper and we get a weird interaction. So here we're going to craft a piston and let's see what happens. It actually shoots out the piston from the dropper, which is really interesting. But if you just have like a chest in here or something, it will just shoot it into the chest. Same thing with hoppers or other type of inventories. The crazy thing about the crafter though is that it actually can interact with itself, and I've actually seen a couple designs like this. For example, this is a good way to make dispensers. We have one crafter making bows down here, and as you can see, the items are just filled. You can just automate this more by toggling or disabling these slots, and this bow will actually feed into this crafter, and this crafter is making droppers, and we will get dispensers, as you can see right here. Another thing about the crafter is that a comparator can be hooked up to it, and it has a signal strength of 9 max for the 9 slots that are in here. So if, for example, we were to start filling this up with items, as you can see, the signal strength will start going up, and even if we start disabling slots, it also increases the signal strength. So basically the simplest way, or not the simplest way, but something that you're going to encounter a lot of is that you kind of need your items organized to fit into here. But if you have it like this is kind of like a blueprint. As you can see here, we just have dispensers kind of filled. We just have dispensers here that just have the items, but they're all separated. So just so that it can be shot out with one redstone signal. But as you can see, it doesn't really matter the order at which the items come in because it just knows where to put them. This is a very simple way of doing it, but you're only going to be able to use this crafter for this item, for like piston specifically, which honestly might be a way to go because it'll save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of time because if you don't do this, then you're gonna have to actually individually start organizing your items. So let's say, for example, your crafter does not have a pattern inside of it. Basically what I mean is that it doesn't look something like this. As you can see, this has a pattern, like an item is already ready to be built. Basically it just uses the items inside to basically guide, to tell where these items are going. So basically there's no order in which the items are coming into the crafter because the crafter already has the recipe inside, so it's just gonna fill in the slots. But over here we have a different type of machine where it has nothing inside. So that means whenever we press whenever we're trying to craft something, the items need to come in the correct order. So this is kind of what it looks like when I press this button. As you can see, it's going to take a second, and then it's going to fill in the items correctly, and it's going to give us the piston. And basically it does this, it doesn't shoot it out because I didn't make it shoot out, but now it's going to craft another one. And there you go. A weird thing about observers and droppers is that actually when observer is over top a dropper, it will actually shoot the items through all of these hoppers. And because the droppers below, these droppers basically shoot up the item into the next one, and then there is a clock that runs all of them, that runs downwards, and it pushes the cobblestone, this cobblestone to this one, then 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 this one, and then basically it's filling up these items like boom, 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 boom. It's like in order, which is really interesting. But observers and droppers have really weird interactions I'm learning. So for example, we actually have a delay here of 3 redstone repeaters, but let's say if I removed one, we would actually get a whole different reaction from this thing. Okay, just make me a liar. What happens if we remove another one? Alright, so never mind. I guess basically just ignore what I said. If you do something like this, it will work fine. This is a very lazy way of just getting a extended signal, because if you just had like a couple of repeaters, it wouldn't like keep this thing long enough. But I'm sure a lot of people will build better ways of crafting things. This video was more just to understand the basics of a crafter, because honestly this video is more for me. I just want to know how it works. So this block is actually really cool. I think it's really cool. I think it's going to open a lot of possibilities for like auto crafting. Like auto crafting is crazy now. The fact that you can do this, I think on a large scale. For example, my storage system I made a video on, this is definitely something I wanted a way to start auto crafting even things that I didn't have. For example, if I needed pistons, we don't have pistons, the system will know to craft pistons. That's something that's going to be awesome, and it's definitely going to be something I'm going to be implementing into a lot of storage systems. I'm sure a lot of other people will too, but even to the normal player that doesn't play this game a ton, they're going to find some uses for this, simple ways to craft a lot of items. Even though honestly your own person like my Minecraft guy can craft a lot quicker than these crafters, but on a large scale you can save a lot of time. Honestly, the next thing we're just missing is a block placer and breaker, and people are going to start going crazy. It's definitely an interesting block to add. I don't really hate it. I don't hate it at all. I think it's really cool, but I think how some redstoners can actually see how this is like a really easy way of auto crafting. I think a lot of people just thought about making a crafting table more of a like entity, but yeah, this is definitely an easier way of doing it, that it's its own block. Actually, you know what, I don't even know. Let's test this real quick. I don't know if it cannot be moved by a piston. That's something that's a tileable item, or a tileable block, I'm pretty sure. For example, dispensers or droppers cannot be moved either. You see, chest can't be moved. So that's I don't think really, honestly, like I don't know why a lot of people would do that, but it's a thing that people have maybe wanted. It's something that can change like redstone a lot. But yeah, anyways, this is a really cool block added to the game. It's definitely going to be added into a lot more of my builds.